Well, hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. We're super glad to have you here with us today. Welcome to the first Infor Community Virtual Hackathon. My name's Brad Stillwell, and I will be your host during this event today. And I got just a couple quick housekeeping items before we jump into the fun parts. First off, I just want to give a special shout out and thank you to our technology partner and sponsor, AWS. Also, I want to make sure you're aware there is a Q&A panel on the side, and we will be answering questions along the way. We've got lots of folks online with us today that are there to answer any questions that you may have. So just to make sure that that Q&A panel is working, if you could go in and put what city and country you are joining from today, we would love to know who all is with us. So please test out that Q&A panel, and we will be answering questions throughout the event. And then the last housekeeping item is I just want to quickly introduce our speakers, Greg and Tony. We'll start with you, Greg. Maybe if you could just tell a little bit about who you are, what you do here at Infor, maybe a little bit about your background, and if possible, maybe one fun fact about yourself.
Excellent, thank you. I'm Greg Hamer, and my role at Infor is as a developer engagement strategist. So I have the very exciting job of being able to work with a team here inside of Infor that works to make sure that we're making our developer and builders experiences as rich as possible. So we often build content beyond the basics of documentation, and we'll be seeing some of that highlighted throughout the hackathon. Fun fact, well, kind of fun. I'm still a little surprised at it myself. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, so it's an interesting town to end up in. But to my advantage, it is a great town if you fly a lot. So we have excellent travel hub here. So back to you, Brad.
Awesome. And Tony, tell us who you are, what you do here at Infor, a little about your background, and again, one of those fun facts about yourself.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. Tony Woods. I am a technical solutions consultant here at Infor, as well as the partner technical success manager. So I work a lot with our developer partners, our product partners, our ISV partners, work with them on developing external solutions, integrations, accelerators, connectors, all of those things, looking to integrate and extend what we do here at Infor. I'm located in the Atlanta area in Alpharetta, and fun fact about me is I have a house full of animals. I have two standard poodles. I'm sure some folks on the team already have seen them walking past here. In addition, we bought the standard poodles because they don't shed. And then we ended up getting four cats, four ragdoll cats. So if you know ragdoll cats, they're long-haired cats. And so we still have we have a vacuum cleaner as well as the Roomba on every floor of the house. And also extra vacuum cleaners just to vacuum up the cat hair. But, love the animals.
Outstanding. I'm right there with you. So thanks for the introduction, guys. We'll be hearing from Tony and Greg here in a little bit. And just, by way of introduction, as I mentioned, Brad Stillwell. I'm one of the product managers here on the InfoOS platform technology. Been in the analytics and BI space, big data, machine learning, AI for the last 20 plus years. Fun fact about myself, much like Tony, I've got 200 plus pound Bernese mountain dogs, which means I have not gotten to finish a meal on my own in the last several years unless I'm on business travel, right? So we really enjoy our pets here at Infor for sure. So I can see that the chat window is working. We've got people from all over the world joining us. So we're super excited to have you here. I just want to set a little bit of the stage of, why a hackathon? Why are we doing this? And really, it's really all about you, our developers, right? The reason that we are doing a hackathon is we want you to engage around our InfoOS platform technologies. And there's really three main things that we want you to focus on. First is about learning. Second is about building. And third is about growing. So when we think about learn, build, grow, really what we want you focused on in the hackathon is learning. I don't know about you, but for me, like the best way to learn is to actually get hands-on with the technology. We've got tons of YouTube videos, we've got tons of tutorials. You'll hear all about that later, but actually getting hands-on with the technology is really the best way to go about internalizing it and getting comfortable with it. So a major focus of the hackathon is really going to be about enablement, about learning how to use these technologies and maybe stepping a little outside of your comfort zone on some of the areas of the platform that you haven't used so much. The second one is about building. We really want you to bring those crazy ideas that you have to life in a real way, to make that technology real for you. Because again, one of the best ways to really internalize something is to have a real problem and come up with a real solution with real working code. And then lastly, it's all about growing, right? We want you to grow your skill sets, obviously, but we also want you to grow your ecosystem, your community, your network of like-minded developers that are going to be your peers along the way during the hackathon. And the reason that we're so focused on that network aspect is the reason that we're actually launching the new developer community with this hackathon. So you're going to hear more about that in a minute. But again, as you think about how you're going to engage, this is all about really getting you, the developer, to learn, to build, and grow with the Infor OS platform. The next thing I just want to kind of briefly talk about is kind of what we're seeing in the market. Like, why are we doing this hackathon now? And there is a growing trend that we've seen in the market around this concept of being composable. Composability is all about this modular approach where we really want to be innovating around the edge. And what does that mean when I say innovating around the edge? We all have these core enterprise applications, and we don't want to be necessarily heavily modifying those core enterprise applications, but yet we still want to differentiate and innovate in our ecosystem. And so the way that we can do that is through some of these platform technologies that sit around the edge of that core application. And that really is at the heart of what composability is all about. So we really want you to focus on speed as you're thinking about how I can innovate around the edge, because the concept of composability is all around time to value. How quickly can I get innovation into the hands of my customers, my coworkers in a meaningful way? So composability is all about how do I get things out very, very rapidly. The second kind of key aspect of composability is around this concept of agility, right? You're literally taking a modular approach and figuring out how can I take these different components and put them together in a unique way to solve a specific business problem. And then when a different business problem arises, how can I take those same components and maybe other components and reorganize them in a way to solve a completely different problem? And that agility is really, really a key foundational aspect of composability. And then the last thing is I always think about this concept of creative destruction, right? How can you rethink every problem set that you have and apply a different way, different skill sets, different technologies to get to different outcomes? And so that is something that we're really hoping that you can start to embrace, that composability concept through the course of this hackathon, because quite honestly, that's the approach that we're taking within Infor of how we're delivering new innovations to the market. And so over the course of the next several weeks, as this hackathon goes on, we're really going to focus on this approach of how we want you building with Infor. And there's, again, kind of three things to take into consideration about what it is that you're going to want to build over the course of this event. One is we want you to build quickly, as I mentioned. And when I think about building quickly, it needs to be building something of value. So I always think of this idea of it needs to be quantifiable. Like what you're going to build needs to have a quantifiable impact, both for yourself and for the businesses that you serve. Next, we want you to think about building for you, but build in a repeatable way, right? Because if you're likely solving a challenge, somebody else in maybe a different industry, a different region is dealing with that same challenge. So we want you to think about building for the hackathon in a repeatable way so that somebody else can take that. And that really gets to our third point, is build for extensibility. Build something that maybe is an MVP. Maybe it's version 1, but version 1, as we say, is always better than version none. It's a great starting point. Get that MVP out there, but build it in such a way that you want people to take that and expand off of it and extend off of it to meet the needs of their businesses, right? So those are kind of the things to think about. What is that? What is something I can build quickly but has a quantifiable business impact? What is something that I can build that's important to me, but I also think will be important for others? And then how can I build in a way that makes it extensible or extendable so that others can take that innovation and continue to grow it post hackathon? And then the last thing I just want to mention is we're going to hear about these kind of challenge categories during the hackathon. You're going to have access to all of Infor OS and all the goodness that Infor OS platform has to offer. But for those of you who've been around Infor OS for a while, you know that's a wide platform with a lot of capabilities. And so for the purposes of the hackathon, we're going to kind of narrow the focus into something that we call challenge categories for the purpose of the hackathon. And we'll get into those in a little bit more depth. But fundamentally, if you really think about it, there's two main challenge categories. There's going to be around intelligence, and there's going to be around automation. In the intelligence area, we're going to ask you to double click into our Infor Industry AI capabilities, our data and insights capabilities, and Infor integration. If you think about kind of the automation section, that's where you're going to also use integration, but also our Infor app development toolkits, as well as our Infor robotic process automation capabilities. So all of those tools are going to be available to you. But when you start to frame up what it is that you want to build that's going to be valuable, that's going to be repeatable, that's going to be extendable, really start to think in these main areas for the purposes of the hackathon. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Greg, who's going to get into a little bit more details. But before I do, Greg, one quick question for you. What are you most excited about to see take place during this hackathon?
Brad, like with all things with my journey at Infor, I am always endlessly excited about what a global organization we are and what global adoption we have with customers around the world. So you're having asked that question in chat has given me hope that we really are going to be having participation from people from all sorts of continents, different time zones, all working on the state-of-the-art technology. So for me, this really exciting thing is just what a global company Infor is and how we're serving customers around that globe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And for me, as I thought about that same kind of question, it's, from a product management standpoint, the exciting part is always what other people are going to come up with, what other crazy ideas people are going to have to use your technologies in ways that you could never have thought of, right? I mean, we always build something because there's a need in the market and there's something that we think we can do that would add value. But then once you get it into the hands of developers, what they come up with will always amaze you and go well beyond anything that you thought was possible. So for me, that's what I'm most excited to see, is just what all the amazing folks that are going to participate in this hackathon are going to come up with and all the unique ways they're going to solve problems that we could never have thought of.
Excellent. Well, off we go. Registration's open, folks. So what I'm going to do is pick up where Brad left off. Brad highlighted the why. Why would you be interested in a hackathon? Why are we excited to put this in front of our user community? But I'm going to touch a little bit more on the why, but Tony and I are going to focus on more of the how. How can you win the hackathon? How can you participate and get the most out of it? But first, let me go through quite a bit of what? So what I have showing here is the event page, and you can see that we have a link here to register now. So registration is now open. And what I'm going to do is just do a quick whip through on this particular page so that we can ensure that you understand the basic mechanics of the hackathon. So first and foremost, why do people come to hackathons? The reasons are many and varied. And a metaphor that some folks have used is that hackathons have similarities to marathons. And so I'll highlight some points around that shortly. But the primary reason to come to the hackathon is because this is a technical event, speaking to technical users who have technical skills, and they really want to both show them off, but at the same time expand and continue to evolve our technical skills. So the Community Hackathon's a place where you can come in and showcase your technical skills using the Infor OS platform. Now, this is relevant to all Infor users because data has a life cycle, and the Infor cloud suites are those transactional systems where data has its moment of origination. And what the Infor OS platform does in many ways is give us the ability to then take that data and analyze the data, move that data, integrate it with other platforms. And so that's why we've chosen to focus on the Infor OS platform for this inaugural Community Hackathon. Another key thing about the hackathon is that we want this to be open, not just for geographic regions, but also for individuals of all different skill levels. So what Tony and I will be highlighting is how individuals who really know these products inside and out will have some great opportunities to get things to working proof of concepts. And for individuals who may be coming relatively new to the Infor OS platform, we'll have a lot of guided tracks that will help you do hands-on, develop skills, and be able to be proficient. And our hope is that this is all going to loop back around in what you build for your teams and your organizations and for your customers, and make sure that you're getting the most out of this platform. By the way, prior to my joining Infor, I was with AWS. I am a true enthusiast about what cloud makes available for our technology, for people who work in technology. So rather than you have to build it all yourself, what's really exciting for me at Infor is that all of these enterprise systems are already built and they're all in place. The integration work is done. So where Brad was emphasizing the composability, we're going to be highlighting that you can very quickly go from idea to actually working product in production because the systems are all up and running. You just need to bring them to bear in your workloads. So the hackathon is, again, targeting a technical audience, but not purely a technical audience, because a key part of a hackathon, which is a competition and a team event, is being able to bring together all the different people that help you not only build the system, but first and foremost, have the idea. Secondarily, be able to do the presentation and sell the idea. And a key reason why developers are involved is nothing sells a solution better than seeing it actually work. So the real goal at the end of the hackathon is to have built out working systems. So first, let me come down here to this heading about the hackathon. We will come back to the register now, but I just want to go through this page. So again, this is a virtual event. Very excited to see that we're already seeing interest globally around the world. This hackathon we chose to do as a virtual event, and it is coincident with our live in-person Infor Velocity Summit, which is going to have in-person events starting next week in October in Las Vegas, and then at the end of October, a second round over in Amsterdam. But we chose to do the hackathon not in person, but rather to do it virtually so that we could have the engagement of everybody around the globe. And so if you're not able to travel to the live in-person events in Las Vegas and Amsterdam, you can still be engaged with the community. And also, in order to do that, we are going to be doing kind of a follow the sun type of approach. But events like this, the live events related to this virtual hackathon, are going to be done on US East Coast time, but all live events are recorded. So individuals who are out in different areas will be able to still stay in sync. And there's much more. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. So about the hackathon, this again is a virtual event and is intended to bring together developers, Infor customers, partners, and innovators around the globe. And it's a great place for you to not just showcase your skills, but also develop and evolve your skills. And as Brad pointed out, a great place to meet community and really get to know individuals who are outside of your organization that have skills that you can learn from too. So there's the focus here is on sharing. So again, we're targeting this to be open, whether you're an experienced user or new to the technologies. We think that you will find a lot of enrichment for participating in this event. So why participate? Already kind of highlighted some of these, but showcase your innovation. And for the ones that ultimately are selected by our judging panel, we have 10 key executives from Infor who are on the judging panel. We are going to be post the hackathon showcasing your innovation. So this is a great opportunity to get your ideas out there and get recognition for what you are able to build. Learn and grow. This gets into that training component. Tony's going to go deep on this. So I'm not going to dwell too much on that from here. Learn with the best. We've got kind of an all hands on deck on our side. And Infor, for anybody who registers for the hackathon, you're going to be part of a private community and you're going to have access to internal technical skills. One of the hard decisions we had to make is our internal teams. We do hackathons as a technology company. We do hackathons internally. And so a lot of our fellow Inforians were somewhat sad to find out that they couldn't actually be competing in the hackathon, but they are here to support you in your work in the hackathon. So network with the best, not only our internal resources, but again, an opportunity to meet other Infor customers, and they're probably solving problems that you might have on your roadmap for next year, and they might be able to give you a leg up and figure out how to accelerate your development. And also partners will be participating. So again, an opportunity to network with the best. An opportunity to win big. Back to my analogy to the marathon, for people who do long distance running, you know, a lot of times you're doing the race just to get over the finish line, just for the satisfaction of knowing that you can. So some people are going to come over first, but one thing we have coordinated in this hackathon is for it to be a 2-stage hackathon. So with big running events, there's often a 5K event. So for folks who aren't ready for running the full marathon, we do have a lot of great activity here for you to do in stage 1. Make an impact. Hopefully we'll be able to surface ideas that will be shared back in the community. And so you can have an impact on your own skill development, your ability to deliver for the teams that you work for and for your customers, and also sharing among other Infor users and customers. And most important, launch your idea. So for individuals who are already strong in Infor technologies, and especially with the Infor OS platform, we're going to give in stage 2, we're going to give you 9 days of time on an Infor OS platform tenant. And for those customers who work with other cloud suites, we'll even include one cloud suite of your choice on that. So we're going to have this 2-stage event. I'll explain that shortly, but stage 1 will conclude with you submitting proposals. And from those, we will then determine who's going through to the stage 2, where we'll actually hand off give you access to, again, Infor tenants. And this is really helpful because when we're doing development, that's a big part of the challenge, is the ability to actually get access to a dev environment. With cloud technologies, as a technologist, a developer, a builder, an architect myself, I am a kid in a candy store. Having access to all this pre-built, pre-configured, pre-integrated technology is something that is a very heady experience. So your ability to deliver world-class solutions in a very short period of time, because it's all built. We did it. And we did it in a way that's secure and scalable. So this will give you a chance to, again, get what might be an idea over to a proof of concept. So next, Brad had hinted, we've got different challenge categories. And the first one up here is related to wildcard. And really, this is the sky's the limit. So for individuals who are already familiar with the Infor OS platform, you can do absolutely anything with the wildcard as the category you want to target. That having been said, for some individuals, you may be already expert with Infor Cloud Suites, but want to develop more skill around the Infor OS platform, which again is integrated. So we're going to target these 4 different subsets of capabilities of the Infor OS platform. By no means is this all of the capabilities, but we're going to focus on AI, robotic process automation, extensibility, and integration. And our intent here is for individuals who want to register, and we encourage everybody register now in terms of openness. Not only do we have this focused on making sure people at all skill levels will find this a enriching and enjoyable process, and also geographically. Basically, though, it is a free event. And there are some small tokens you'll automatically get just by registering and participating in our stage 1. So we'll highlight some of those when we talk about community, because we're very excited, because in conjunction with the hackathon, for individuals who have worked with Infor Technologies for years, we have related to the hackathon an altogether new community that is going up as of today. So Tony will give you some highlight on that. And again, by registering for the hackathon, you'll automatically have specific status inside of those new communities. But in any event, where should you focus your energy? One thing I always encourage people in the cloud is, first and foremost, go to your strong suit. So whatever area you're really strong on, please laser focus in on that, and you'll be able to be pleasantly surprised over and over again about what great capabilities the Infor OS platform already has. So always focus on what you really know, and you'll just be going deeper as you go through your ideation for the hackathon. So next up here is our event timeline. And this is showing in 2 ways. We have some graphics here at the top. So on the left, it's highlighting an abbreviated form of what the stage 1 encompasses. And then to the right, what stage 2 encompasses. And then down below, we have a little bit more detail about stage 1 and stage 2. So basically, what is stage 1? Stage 1 is the basic elements of any hackathon: registration, ideation, basic self-service training, but importantly, team formation. So if you already have a team that you're coming on in with, great, that's fantastic. But if not, don't be shy, just sign up, register for the hackathon, and we will work with you to find appropriate people to work together with, both complementary to your skills and also people who are looking to build similar types of solutions. So that's the focus of stage 1, but that stage 1 is going to conclude with individuals submitting proposals. So our submission deadline will be October 15th. So I should just call out here that the registration will close on October 7th. So if you can help us get the word out to other folks that you work with in your team, then let them know that this event is going on. That'll be really fantastic. And then after the teams have formed, your number 1 deliverable will be the proposal by October 15th. And now from those, we will be selecting by October 18th, which teams will then continue on to stage 2. Now, stage 2 is going to have some enriched training. So the enriched meaning that we're going to have live events, that access to Infor experts. So for each one of those target areas, we're going to have events specific to that. Another important reason for folks to sign up for the register for the hackathon is that we are going to have a specific community forums where you can start discussions, and we're going to have our key technical people very closely actively monitoring and watching those. So this is a unique opportunity for you to get even more access to the internal technical capabilities inside of Infor. But in any event, the stage 2 has got a 9-day period where we will have provided to those teams that are in stage 2 a Infor tenants with the Infor OS platform, and at your election, we'll also include one of the cloud suites so that you can build the solution that you have envisioned and proposed at the end of stage 1. So key dates are registration's open today. Please register. Second, please get the word out to individuals you know that might be excited about this. This is an inaugural event. So if people are like, what Infor Hackathon? That's because this is that Infor Hackathon that you've been waiting for. So registration closes October 7, and then October 15th will be when proposals will be submitted, and then stage 2 will begin on October 21st. And the development period runs for the 9 days you have the tenant, and you will then submit a proposal, not a proposal, but a description of your finished product, a video of up to 5 minutes so that the judges can really understand what you were trying to build. And from that, our judging panel will go through and select winners. Now, I just want to highlight on this page to the left, we have links to other pages that support the hackathon. And I'm highlighting second up from the bottom that we have a panel of 10 key technology executives from Infor who will be doing the judging. So we are really taking this very, very seriously. Okay, next down, how does it work? The basic mechanics. First, register. It's free. It's open. Please do, and we'll automatically qualify you for some immediate recognition for your participation in the event. Just want to point out that there is a register at the top, and there is a registration form here at the left. There is another registration at the top right, and I'll come back to that. After you register for the hackathon, you will then want to register for the new communities that are going to have these discussion forums that support the hackathon. So first, register. Number 2, get your team formed, come up with your idea. Number 3, create a proposal and submit that. And then from the proposals that we receive, we will select a large number of those, providing them Infor Cloud tenants, enabling them to then actually create the builder phase. And at the end of that, those teams will submit a description of their project. And from that, the judges will select who our winner will be. All right, so who can participate? Again, this is an open event. So the Infor Community Hackathon is open to innovators of all backgrounds. Clearly, we are super welcoming of Infor customers, Infor partners, independent developers. If this is your first time dipping your toe in the Infor waters, you're going to find that this is a very, very substantial community that has been established over more than 2 decades. And these are running the mission critical systems of innumerable large companies from around the world. This is also a great event for IT managers, system administrators, any key users, project team members. Again, it takes a lot of varied skills to work collaboratively in order to build out working systems. And the only restriction we're asking is that people be either 18 years of age or older. So again, if you don't have prior experience with Infor technologies, no problem. We've got resources for you. And right at that top, Brad called out that we have AWS as a sponsor, technology partner on this hackathon event. And we're very excited that Amazon Web Service is a partner for this inaugural hackathon. And the AWS sponsorship underscores our shared commitment to driving technological innovation and supporting developer communities. Okay, so that's the basic overview page. And I just want to highlight a few things. I'm going to scroll this back to the top before I hand this off over to Tony. The primary thing I need to make sure is that you're familiar with the necessity of registering in order to start engaging and getting the benefit of what we have built out here around the hackathon. So you can go to register for the event by clicking the button here on this page, going to the hackathon registration form, and I've got that open here. And the form itself is really pretty simple. So nothing surprising, just a general introduction here at the top, and the information we need to know who you are by name and what your email is. We'd like to know what company or organization you're with, your job title, what country you're coming in from, and if it's from the US, what state you're coming in from. By the way, where there's an asterisk preceding any of these registration form fields, we do require you to provide some entry on those. Then we're trying to get acquainted with you. We really want to make sure we custom tailor this event to the people who are actively engaging. So what describes whether your situation best? Are you an Infor customer? Are you an Infor partner? Or potentially just independent coming in from the outside? Again, everybody is welcome. Then also to give us a heads up on what you would self-judge your level of experience specifically with the Infor OS platform, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And again, this helps us make sure we're focusing the resources as effectively as possible. Then we're also trying to find out what your general skills are, and this will help us with team formation. So if you're going to be matched with other team members or other people will be proposed for you, this will help us in figuring out those complementary skills. And then also, we're just curious in terms of challenge category, which one you might be going to target first. So we just have that question, and we're almost done. If you already have that ideation done, you already have something in the top of your mind, and this is a great opportunity for you to get that to a working proof of concept. If you give us an early warning, again, this is just helping us get to know you better. And then to wrap this up, we've got the 10 different primary technologies that are part of the Infor OS platform. And we're just asking you to give us some feedback on which ones you are most likely to use during the hackathon. Almost to the end, do you require any special accommodations? And also, how did you hear about the community hackathon? And if you are registering as an individual, then the next page will be on the terms and conditions. But if you are coming in as a preformed team, we're just asking you to call out who those might be. Now, nothing that you select here on the registration form is locking you into anything. This is just helping us understand the profile of the people who are joining this hackathon event. So one thing that is important as you do register, do go through the terms and conditions. I don't think you're going to find anything surprising there. This is, for instance, a professional event that includes a call out for what is acceptable, appropriate behavior. So with that, let me just go back to this main page. What I'd like to do now is just call out here on that top right-hand corner where there is a second register button, and that is for the forum. So for all of the really senior skilled people who have been working with Infor for years, what we have on the top right-hand corner is a community site that we have put up for the first time today, specifically to support our hackathon event. So when we need to get information to the hackathon participants, it will be through the forums that are related to this community platform. And we'll also be creating private groups that when the teams get formed, you'll all have private groups on this community platform. So after registering for the hackathon, please also come over and register also for these forums. And that's the basics of what we have going here. I'm going to hand this off to Tony in just a moment, but I also want to call out that one of the things that Tony is going to be touching on is related to resources that are available for self-study, and they are on, many of which are on the developer portal. And the menu items that were along the top there for Learn, Build, and APIs are all on the developer portal. And the menu for people who have been to the developer portal over the last few years, the menus are now updated as of today. So in addition to the hackathon, we're extending and modifying the developer portal. So Learn, Build, and APIs. When you go directly to the developer portal, it now includes the hackathon as well as community. And so with that, I've done the what and hopefully gave you a little bit more of the why. And in terms of what, please again, register for the hackathon. There's no cost involved, and you'll start being engaged with the community. Immediately after all, please register for the new communities. And with that, I'll hand off to Tony. And Tony, is there anything that you're particularly excited about with the hackathon?
Actually, there is, Greg. Thanks for asking. And what I'm most interested in is coming on the technical side of things. Um, I'm interested in the collaboration, looking at the teams, the how are the teams going to be composed, who are in those teams, how they work together, and also looking at the innovations, the ideas, the creativity that's going to come from this. I'm anxious to really see those projects.
Excellent. Off to you.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I'd like to extend a welcome to the Infor Hackathon. Your journey to innovation starts here. So when you think of innovation, what do you think of? There's creativity, the ability to generate new ideas and solutions, progress, advancing technology, processes, or products, improvement, making things better, more efficient or effective, risk, the potential for failure, but also the possibility of great rewards, or change, embracing new ways of doing things and adapting to a changing world. Innovation is this and more. Use your imagination, your experience, your skill, and you can start to build it today. For years, the Infor OS platform has been driving innovation into Infor ERPs. And now, with that same platform, you can build innovations to extend capabilities, develop new solutions, accelerators, adapters, connectors, integrations, or even standalone solutions. The Infor OS platform is the toolbox. You bring the ingenuity. The Infor OS platform has many different components, as you've heard, to drive that innovation. That being said, the hackathon is focusing on the four challenge categories that you've heard: artificial intelligence, automation, integration, and extensibility. So the resources that I'm going to talk about are going to be available to you throughout the hackathon, and they can be found from the developer community. So let's take a quick tour. So in the developer community, we can start with Learn. Under Learn, that's going to take us to the developer portal. And here is where you can see all the different components of the developer portal that you can utilize. So Brad talked a lot about the different components. So over here, you can see there's analytics, there's application development, data management. I'm not going to go through all of these. But if we take a look at application development, under application development, these are all kind of laid out pretty much the same. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what are the tools for application development. Well, there's Infor Mongoose. There's going to be concepts and definitions so that when you're talking to somebody, if you're asking questions, everybody can have the same language. So when we start talking about extensibility, low code, full code, metadata, what are the different components, the forms, the fields, the records, all of that is going to be documented here. What are the key benefits and the integrations? There's also going to be an architecture map. There's also the Infor OS App Designer. We were talking about Mongoose. App Designer is another tool. There's going to be videos in here. Once again, the key concepts, definitions, the architecture. And at the bottom, if you want to learn more, there's going to be quick references. There are also courses on Infor There's also topical videos. So if you wanted to move into those, these are going to be on YouTube. If you want access to the written guides, once again, everything that you need to find out more about the component that you want is going to be right here under Learn. So we can go back up to the top and take a look at, let's say, robotic process automation. Once again, just to show you that here it is again, the key concepts and definitions. Find out, what we call the RPA flow. What is a job? What devices? Is the attended mode of execution, unattended mode? Those are the modes of execution. So when people start saying things using terminology, these are the words that you're going to start hearing. The key components, the studio, the mastermind. So all of that's going to be documented here. You can find all of the different things that are going to help you to understand what the components are, what they do, where they can be utilized. Once again, we get to the want to learn more, quick reference, topical videos, as well as the guides, the community, as well as courses on Infor. So going back, so you've gone through, you've taken a look at the components and you said, wait a minute, I've got some questions. If you want questions on specific tools, you can go to the community. And if you go to Infor OS platform, here's where you're going to find those forums where you can ask particular questions, specific questions on the particular component that you have. So if it had to do with integration, maybe you're asking, that back end as a service. I'm trying to figure out exactly, how I can create my own API. Maybe you can ask that question here. These are going to be monitored by Infor SMEs as well as other folks. Since this is a collaboration tool, you'll be able your peers, will be able to answer some of these if they know as well. So there's data insights, there's the data fabric, there's industry AI, there's application development. So these are the different areas you can go. You can post questions on specific tools if you have those. If you have those questions. The next thing we want to talk about is, okay, I get the components. I know where I can ask questions, but where if I want to put my hands on it and learn how to perform specific tasks? Well, underneath build, you can go to our tutorial section. In the tutorial section, once again, you're going to see that we have all the different components. And under each of the components, you're going to see that there are going to be tutorials for each of those. Under application development, if you're interested in learning about Mongoose, I've heard of Mongoose. I've done a little bit with it, but how do I really get started? Well, there's the Mongoose Hello World tutorial. Then we start getting into more technical things on how to call an API from Mongoose, how to use low-code wizards in Mongoose, how to set up context messaging in the Infor OS app designer. So if you're interested in integration, we have tutorials on integration as well. API flows, advanced features, customizing object schema, converting SOAP services to REST APIs. All of these start with what the business problem is. They will take you into the components that are going to be needed. Here are the requirements that you'll need, and then it'll take you step by step into each of the things that you will need to do to complete the tutorial. Some of the tutorials will require some downloads. So what you're going to find is that there are downloads that are going to help you, and also additional resources. So there's online documentation. If you're using an API, there's going to be access to the Swagger documentation, the API flow, the ION document flow. So there's a lot of tools here to help you to understand what the business problem is, what the ask is, and understand the tutorial, the steps that go through on exactly what you're doing and how to solve that. So we have the tutorials. If you are looking for some of the best practices, we can click on the best practices. Here, we can take a look at what are best practices in application development. Some of these are going to be things that you may already know. So for application development, minimizing the code, utilize productivity UI. So these are just some ideas of things that you need to think about when you start looking at innovation, how you're going to build your product, because these are your project, because these are things that the judges are going to look at as well. How to utilize the core, utilizing metadata. So best practices for application development. There are going to be best practices for enterprise integration. Your naming conventions, database connection points. So a lot of tools here for you. Additionally, on the build side, the design comes into, that's something we haven't forgotten about either. On the design page, here you can take a look at the design system that we use, Infor design paradigm, the design principles. So this is going to be more from the user experience side. So once again, it's not just the technology, the innovation, the tools, but also thinking through from end to end, how the user is going to experience what it is that the innovation and the solution that you're creating. You need to take into consideration some of the design aspects as well. So there's a lot of information in here, from the tutorials, from the components, to asking questions on the community. And you start thinking about it and you say, wow, that's a lot of information. Where do I actually get started? Well, we've helped you there as well. If you go to Hackathon, And on the Hackathon page, you're going to see a tile here for training resources. What we've done on the training resources is we've gone through the challenge categories, and specifically for those, here are some of the some tutorials, some sessions that you can start with. That's going to get you started, so that you can start to think about what it is that you're going to do with your project. So for artificial intelligence, here's a few training courses here for robotic process automation, for extensibility and app development, for integration. So these are some curated content that we've put together that is a good place to get started on your innovation. So now this is where we are going to start. And this is going to be available to you throughout the entire hackathon. However, in the second phase of the hackathon, you're going to also have the opportunity to join live training sessions that are led by Infor subject matter experts on each of the different challenge categories. You're going to have the opportunity to ask questions during these sessions as well. So you have the developer community, links to all the resources here to get you started. In the second stage, in addition to these the material that you have here, you're also going to have live sessions, be able to communicate, collaborate, talk to Infor SMEs directly during those training sessions as well. The training sessions aren't necessarily going to be more of how to do something. They're going to be giving you some ideas on building your product, how to use multiple tools together, how innovation actually works. They may be different use cases that we've solved in the past, how we solve those, how we go about thinking through those. So they're not going to be basic level or 100 level sessions. They're going to be level 200 and 300 sessions, things that will teach you how to think through projects that have been successful in the past. So these are your resources for education, for learning. Great things. The thing is it's a great place to start is right here within the developer community. Everything begins here. All the links are here to all of the training that you're going to need. So once again, best of luck to everybody. Good luck, and I'll turn it back over to Brad.
Awesome. Well, Tony, Greg, thank you both for walking us through that. I've been keeping an eye on the chat window. A lot of great questions coming in. Seems to be a lot of excitement. People, wanting to know if they can do more than one innovation, and can their solutions span more than one area. So that's all the music to our ears. That's absolutely what we wanted to hear. Hopefully what you walk away with today is a very clear understanding of kind of what the next steps are. You really need to register to get started. So please, please, please go to the developer portal, register for the hackathon. If you've never been to the developer portal before, for the walkthrough that Tony just gave us, hopefully you now realize that how much work has gone into putting what we believe is everything that you need to know in one easy to access location in a consistent way. So all of those videos, all of those tutorials, all of those best practices, all of those how-to guides, everything that you're going to need to know to be successful in this hackathon is all conveniently located in the developer portal in one place for you. So please, please, please go to the developer portal, sign up for the hackathon. If you're kind of on the fence, you're not real sure, you're not 100% sure if you got the best idea just yet, just take a swing at it, right? The best thing that you can do is put yourself out there, get connected with some amazing people, learn something new that you can, transcend into the work that you do day in and day out. So, and then also, while you're there registering for the hackathon, or if you're kind of on the fence and you're not sure, 100% absolutely sign up for the new community, right? The new community platform is there to help you engage with others, to share your knowledge, to share your experiences, to be a resource for others. So whether you decide to, participate in the hackathon or not, we do hope you will sign up for the community and both share your knowledge and contribute to that growing knowledge base for the broader community to take advantage of. So please check out the developer portal, sign up for the hackathon, sign up for the community, and really start that journey on learning, building, and growing your network. So Tony, Greg, any last things that you want to throw out before we close out for the day?
I would just like to encourage people to know that your engagement matters. We really are trying to read how we can best get information to you, best give challenges to you so that you can grow and really understand these technologies. So by registering for the hackathon, you're giving a vote of support for our continued efforts in these areas. By registering for the new communities, well, you're going to need that anyway, because that's a pilot, but hopefully it's going to be a success that'll give you a much more enriched way to get answers to your questions and meet other people in the community. So again, encouraging, please do step forward because that helps us do more of these types of events going forward in the future.
Absolutely. Tony, any closing thoughts from your side?
Well, I just like to echo the number one is the welcome to everybody. Number two is the camaraderie that this and the collaboration, the corroboration, the sharing of ideas. That's what we're trying to drive here, and to take a look at the innovation, utilizing the tools that we have. Maybe there's some ideas out there that we've not thought of. Things that maybe there's some things that maybe you haven't had the time to work on, and now this is your opportunity to test an idea to see if it works. Yes, it's a competition to win, but it's also a competition for you yourself to challenge yourself to see what kinds of things that you can build with the tools that we can provide to you. So I'm very anxious to see the projects, the ideas, the sharing of information. I'll be monitoring the boards as well. Hopefully answering some questions and maybe even asking some questions myself. But very much looking forward to it. Please, everybody, register for the hackathon, and we look forward to seeing you on the boards.
Yep.
Outstanding. And I see people who've been registering already. Just be aware there's about 24-hour turnarounds for once you register to get everything approved. So you'll get that approval if you register today, either later today or tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your day. We hope this was an hour well spent. And we're looking forward to seeing your creativity, your imagination, and your skills come to life over the coming weeks. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.